What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Trail Theory Podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Alex.
I'm Austin.
And I'm Pfeiffer.
It's amazing.
Oh, speaking of amazing, hey, everyone.
Hey.
How's it going? Welcome back to the Trail Theory Podcast.
Hi, gang.
Hey, we're here. I'm here. Gosh, especially me. I feel like I've been.
Well, yeah, you've been absent. You've been like absentee.
I've been a
absentee partner.
Yeah.
I abandoned you. But I'm back.
Some would say that
I've abandoned my pod.
Sorry.
He's abandoned his child. I've abandoned my podcast.
I'm an oil man. This is my son, HW.
Well, we haven't been in the studio in a while either.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
We all just become Daniel Day-Lewis all of a sudden.
Oh, man.
Drink your milkshake.
All right. Yeah, we haven't been here in a while.
No, we really haven't.
We could go for hours.
We can go for hours, dude.
Yeah.
This is not a movie quote podcast, although it could be.
A guy I know.
A guy I know. No, they didn't. God.
Right.
Oh,
We
need
were
to get
quoting
into this. I'm so
Billy
sorry.
Madison in the text chat today.
We
so,
were,
yeah.
a lot of that going on. So
Yeah, it was
that's
a
how
lot.
it goes.
Yep.
Yeah, our text chat is all biz. For anyone that's wondering.
Sure.
All biz.
All biz.
All
business.
pod, all biz.
And that's what we're doing.
And some Veronica Vaughn.
Veronica Vaughn.
It's so hot.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow?
All right. So
All right, what are we
we
talking
should
about?
quit. We should quit.
we should
doing
probably
that.
quit.
Quit.
Yeah.
Quit doing that.
Quit doing
We're
that.
failures.
Failing at podcasting.
We failed at the
point.
opening of this podcast.
Yeah, man. Oh, real quick before we get into the actual
Well,
episode.
it's cool because we haven't gotten into it yet.
Right.
So.
I want to say we launched we did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
The last month. Really.
We
We've
haven't
been
been in
gathering
the
a lot.
studio
I
for a while.
I leave and you guys like do all the shit
Everything,
and then
right?
yeah.
So we had our first live episode. If you haven't seen that, go back and check that out live at Adventure Fest, Northeast Ohio Adventure Fest.
buddy.
Well, but
that was fun.
It wasn't really technically live. We just did with an audience.
it was
We
live
had
for
a live
them.
audience, and
that's
we did, and then we posted it for people that didn't
Right.
show up.
A live
Right.
recording of the podcast.
There you
Yeah,
go.
live
A
recording
live
of the
audience.
podcast.
We gotta
Yeah,
be
live
that's
audience.
overly
That's fair.
specific.
And so we did that.
This episode was taped in front of a live audience.
It was a live studio
that
audience.
would have been very funny.
Put that in. Let's add that in.
Yeah, do some canned cheering.
With that, we launched merch, right? So
Yeah.
we've got T-shirts, we've got stickers, we've got partnered coffee. We partnered with Heartwood Coffee Roasters and have our own
Yeah.
Trail Theory blend. All of that is available on our website, which we can put down below as well. So if you're
We don't have
interested,
a shirt handy, do we?
Paul's
wearing one.
Hey, rip the
Take it
top
off.
off,
Wow,
buddy.
really
Take it
get in
up.
there.
Pop the
At
top.
least, yeah, pop the
There
logo.
it is.
Hey.
There's the logo.
Little
Yeah.
nipple cover.
There's
logo.
some stuff on the side. We'll post a few
we'll do
pictures up and
couple
stuff like
things,
that as
couple,
well. But
two, three.
you can, if you weren't able to be at the Adventure Fest where we were selling that, we've got it online. You can order it online. And we'll ship it to you. And then we also launched a Patreon.
Patreon.
Man, we
Patreon's
did
up.
so much
We
stuff.
And
So-
and some people subscribed.
And
which
we've
is
got
super
people
cool.
subscribers. We've got
So,
some members.
yeah.
And we would really, really appreciate if you really do enjoy the podcast. It's, I think right now the first one's just $3 for just to support. It really helps us out. It helps us grow. It helps us get freeze dried food and try all that stuff for you guys. It helps us get some gear to try out and let people know how gear's going. So yeah. Help us build the family a little bit.
That's the first tier, and hopefully we're gonna have more for you guys in the future because
Yeah.
we want to just produce
Let's
and
build
make
it up,
more
man.
and build this up. So,
Yeah.
but for now, thank you for the support.
Yes, thank you for those that did already.
And now we
On
can
to
do
the
our
podcast.
podcast.
Now we're getting
in.
Back to your regularly scheduled program.
Yeah.
What is failure? What does
That's a
failure
great-
look like?
It's a great question because when you pose this as a topic, I was like, okay, well, we'd have to define what like quitting means, what failure means in I guess the world of outdoors, a world of backpacking or whatever we're going to kind of get into. We almost have to define that a little bit because I feel like there's a lot of different avenues to go down when we talk about failure or talk about quitting something.
Yeah. I think that, quitting is a choice. failure is more of like an outcome,
A reality.
right?
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
you know,
like a hard line.
Yeah.
I feel like.
right, because like you can, you know, depending on what the situation is and what you're doing, you know, quitting to me, you know, if that's a choice that you make when you're doing it, and I think that it's important for us, like what I wanted to kind of discuss and find out is like, when is quitting like a failure to yourself, where it's not, you know, something you're actively learning, because failure can be a good outcome.
Failure is great.
You know,
think
failure can be
really
a great
good.
outcome.
Yeah.
And I think it's like trying to find that line between like where quitting and failure meet, because again, like quitting really is the action, right? You're going out and doing something. That's the action. You've got a plan and set. You're going out and doing it. And at one point, if you decide to quit, that's your choice. And the failure is the outcome.
Yeah, and I think so.
You can. It's kind of like whiskey and bourbon, real quick.
Yeah.
Because like you can quit and fail, but you can fail without quitting.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
it's like there's so much there.
Yeah. So a square is a rectangle. Rectangle's not a square, kind of thing. Like yeah, I think you said it perfectly. But there's different versions of quitting too. So you could, I think, anytime you quit, by definition. So if you're doing something, even if it's a smart choice, the best choice, whatever, or if you're doing it out of, you know, laziness or cowardice or something else, it's that by definition it's still a failure. You didn't reach the intended goal, therefore failed to reach the goal, failure. But that doesn't always have to have a negative connotation to it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So it's only negative, like if you're quitting, and you shouldn't, because if you hadn't have done, then and you would have been successful, or you really could have done more and should have, but you're failing yourself at that point. So there's pushing as hard as you can and doing all the right things, still not getting the intended outcome.
When you said that, one thing that I thought of is you've seen that meme before where it's like the dude who's it's like the little cartoon dude, and he's got a pickaxe underground, and he's like pickaxing the boba, and he stops right before the big diamond thing.
Right, yeah.
You know, that's what I kind of like think of with that kind of like quitting and failure is like, oh man, could you have just broken through?
Right.
So that thing.
Ignorance is
Interesting.
bliss, though. At that point, right?
Well, that's true, but also
You don't get the diamond.
so my
You don't know it's there. I mean,
Right.
What's that mean to you, right?
So my Rainier trip is coming up, and I have been rereading No Shortcuts to the Top, which is by Ed Viesturs. It's one of my favorite books just ever. I think this is my like fourth time going through it. But I'm glad that this kind of came up, because I've have a lot of scenarios that I want to just pose to you guys based on some of this mountaineering things that I'm kind of going back into, right? And talking about, because one of the things that Ed preaches is that with mountaineering, or with even us going to a summit or something like that, going up to the summit is an option, right? It can be a goal for sure. It's not mandatory. Getting back down or coming back home, that's mandatory.
Right. Yeah, that's
right?
has to happen.
Right. So the thing that I started thinking about with this topic was, you know, quitting for something like someone, you know, going and doing a 6,000 meter peak or an 8,000 meter peak or something like that, where they have to quit because the snow is not good conditions, or the weather is going, into the south. It's not going to be good. And so you're going to have avalanche conditions and stuff like that. So you have to quit, because if you don't, you'll die.
Right.
Right. So
or the risk will be far greater than worth taking.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, you know, quitting to kind of save yourself, save your life, save your team, you're not going to succeed. You're failing technically. And who's to say there's not another opportunity for you to go back up or something like that too, right? But, you know, that is a smart choice to quit in that kind of scenario.
And
right?
it's like not quitting when you should have is a failure in and of itself.
And that's what the other thing I was going to go into, because people that don't quit when they're doing that kind of thing in particular, right? They keep going up, and then they die on the mountain.
Right. But
then
they
fail.
hit the summit. So you hit the goal.
But here's the thing. I don't think, in my opinion, if you go up and you get to the summit, you didn't actually complete the summit.
Yeah.
You have to come back down.
Yeah,
I agree
When
with
you
that.
get up there, you're only halfway. Right. When we go up to do our backpacking trips and we go up to a summit or something like that, we come back down or whatever. We've only gone up halfway. We've only done half the trip at that point. So, the people that go up, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody that's passed or anything like that on mountains or anything, but like if you summit, you didn't really complete your goal, right? You didn't complete the round trip. So in my opinion, like, because you didn't quit, you still failed.
Right.
Well, but I also want to be empathetic to the discussion. I mean, obviously we're 5 guys sitting in a basement talking about it on a podcast, so it's obviously very different from that perspective, but like we don't know all the variables in all of the instances. So again, we're generalizing, but
of course,
I know what you're saying, right? Like, I think conceptually I understand the idea.
It's just interesting coming back at it through a different kind of, or a specific set of eyes, like that kind of thing, right?
Well, let's talk about quitting specifically rather than like failure and what that looks like and what you can learn from it and what it feels like. But quitting itself, because I think that there's a lot of different ways that you can quit. I think that there's a skill called smart quitting in a way where it's like you make strategic decisions to stop. And even if you feel regret for having to quit or quitting, I think that it can be the right move and the smart move a lot of times, especially in situations where you may be causing harm to yourself or others.
And in that sense, like, I don't even know if I'd use the word quitting at that point, because it's also like, I like what you just said about the summit only being halfway. Take any one of our trips, right? It's just a circuit. Maybe we hit some peaks, maybe we don't, whatever. It's nothing intense. We're not doing Everest. One of us gets injured along the way. If that decision at that moment in time, and we're, halfway through or 3/4 of the way through, and it's like, we have to make a call right now. And if that call is, we have to audible, we have to go back, we have to do this, we have to do whatever, it's not the original plan. I don't know if I see that as quitting, as just adapting, right?
Yeah,
There's a reality that you have to deal with.
I agree.
That's how you deal with it. You still succeed.
We had to have talked to you about this. Manistee, right? Our Manistee River Loop trip, right? You cut your toe. Was it your toe?
And sprained my ankle.
And sprained your ankle.
It was a rough
It was
one
the
for
same foot too, right?
Same foot.
Yep.
Same foot.
Yep. Same day.
So
He remembers it well.
Foot guy.
There was discussions of, we knew that second day
Little snack there, bro.
that we were going to get to a point where there was a parking lot.
Oh yeah, we were gonna dump you off.
We were gonna actually, I think Brian and I volunteered. We were going to run the rest of the loop back to the car, get the car to come
Drive
back,
back,
and then get you out.
So I remember.
You'd push through.
Yeah, I didn't.
But
I ended up not wanting to do that.
Yeah.
I remember this because I remember where we were. It was this like really hot, sunny, like fieldy kind of like area. There was like bunch of long, like tall grass everywhere. And I
can
remember,
picture the photo and the video footage. Beautiful
and I
shot,
remember
beautiful scene.
We were looking at the map and everything, and we were like, okay, there's actually like if we got to the car, we can drive here. It'd be like this. It'd probably be like 4 or 5 hours or something like that to be able to do this. And I was like, you know what? I was like, no, we're not doing
push
this.
through it.
We can just handle this. It's just too much. And I think part of it was like, one, I didn't want to be a burden to the entire group. It also wasn't an emergency.
Well, you wouldn't have been a burden, right?
I know, but
I understand what you're saying. But
it was also
we're talking about quitting or
trip.
failing.
I
Like,
mean,
did that feeling like, oh, I didn't like, is that what you were feeling? Like, you feel like a little bit, not like a failure or anything like that.
No. I don't think I would have felt dissatisfaction for not completing the trip. It's more of just being a burden for everybody else.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, I know you guys, like, I'd be in the same way if I was in your boat. It wouldn't feel like that for me at all, if I was helping somebody out. But it also wasn't an emergency situation where, like, I needed immediate medical...
we didn't think you needed stitches.
No.
Right? We kind of controlled the bleeding and stuff like that.
It wasn't even the cut. It was the sprain that was the most.
That was
because
the most,
I couldn't put a boot on because of it. Because it just constricted my...
You're wearing a sandal.
I was wearing a sandal with socks. It was a Teva sandal. And because, the boot was too tight on it. And again, it wasn't an emergency situation. So I was like, I can get through this. I'm just going to be slow. I'm going to be in the back. That was already, I felt like, weighing the group down. So that would have been like, okay, well, maybe like, to not be the caboose where I felt like I was extremely slow, this would be the right decision. But it was the smart and probably the right thing to just keep pushing on. It didn't get worse. It's I'm here today,
right.
and don't have
and
scars.
there was
So.
at that point there was like an end in sight.
Yeah,
We knew
where
that
it was.
from an elevation perspective. I mean, this was back in the paper map days too.
Oh, dude,
like,
we weren't doing anything.
things
in
were
elevation,
different,
really.
right? It was still, I think
flat.
it was our third trip, very early on in our experience backpacking. So it was like, we were still getting our sea legs with the experience too, right? So I think there had to have been some emotional feelings of like, that was your second trip.
Yeah.
So it was like
pretty early on,
wanting to power through, because it's like we were still in the kind of, I would still say, I would call it like a honeymoon phase of backpacking, where it's like, it was really fun and really like, I would romanticize some of it.
Well, and I know, and I'll keep digging into Austin a little bit. Coming off of Dolly, because it was your second, there was one trip in between Loyal Sock, which you didn't go on. So you're coming off of Dolly where you had the boot issues. You still had a fantastic time at Dolly, I know. But you're like, I think you were pretty
Well, you didn't
amped
get
up.
hurt in Dolly.
You're like, oh, I'm going to do this fucking right.
Well, I got dope ass.
I got the
boots.
Nike
Yeah.
boots are great. Now I can't fucking wear it because I sprained my ankle.
Yeah.
Like
Crazy, dude.
I do
not
remember.
happy,
I remember hiking a little bit with you. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was the road hike that was the more painful part, or was it just that it was the last like mile? Was it just like
just worn out.
You mean on the way back? Like
on the way back,
that last stretch.
I think it was just like it was just long and road and just like like I've been walking on this thing for 2 days like this.
Yeah,
because it was like at the end of day one, I was like, ooh, this thing feels a little.
But you didn't quit
funky.
though. I mean,
I didn't.
And
quit.
I think, and that's going back to my earlier point. Is like I think even if we had made that call of you and I going to get the car, I don't know. Like I wouldn't look back on that and consider that.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't use the word quit. I guess that it's a semantic thing that I'm having trouble with. I don't, because it's not a. The quitting to me is there's a conscious like I know I can do more. I'm choosing not to because it's uncomfortable or because I'm selfishly saying I'm not going to do this because I'm not into it right now. Like that's quitting when I know that I could. When if I'm not sure that I could, or I know it's probably best that I don't, and I decide to back off, I don't see that as quitting.
Yeah.
See,
that's a smart move.
I'm with you, Brett. I agree, and I'm struggling with that sentiment too, because I think the older I've gotten, and the more that I look at these trips and I reflect on the thoughtfulness around what they are and what they mean to me, I've become so much more enamored with the journey and the story of the trip rather than I have about completing the trip. And I say that from the standpoint of how many times have we gone out there and we have to bushwhack, or we have to screw part of the trail off, or something happens, or hey, we end a night early and we do something different. To me, I am of the mind that adaptability and that piece of the journey is just another part of the it's another chapter of the story.
Yeah.
And I actually, quite frankly, my favorite trips are the ones where we have to adapt.
Right.
Because I love when there's a scenario that it's like, you know what? Oh, shoot. There's a restaurant not even a mile from our campground tonight. Maybe we should go get a beer and a dinner. Like, I mean, and again, I know that there's mixed emotions on those types of things, but I just love when random things occur that kind of require us to either think through it, or like there's a river crossing. Like we've had that where it's challenging, or we've had to go around things. I think
campsites,
good stories don't happen from scripted basic plans. It's like the best stories are when shit goes haywire.
A cool example of that is our last Adirondacks. Not your last Adirondacks, because you just went.
Yeah.
But our last no campsite. There just wasn't room at the inn.
Campsite the last
so
night.
Our last night, we could have chosen to force it. We could have but no, we're going, and we're just gonna make room for ourselves. Like we'll figure it out.
I don't know how we would have. But
I know it would have. I think it would have been miserable. Like we would have probably. It's us. We would have figured something out. But we made that call of like, no, we're gonna go. We ended up meeting some super cool people on the way out and like talking to them
that was fun.
on the way out. and having a night in Lake Placid, which was fantastic.
That was fun.
Having some fantastic food. Again, another chapter that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
We podcast in the van, which was rad.
that was
Podcast
nice.
in the
Yeah,
van.
that
That's
was
right.
dope.
that's right.
And got some followers because there's people listening right now that we were actually met on the way out as we hiked out. But like, yeah, so I agree. It's like that. I think we're better off. Technically, we didn't finish the trip right as planned. And there's a few elements of that trip that actually went different, right?
Oh, yeah,
Well, I guess, and that was a good example.
I guess
He
though,
lopped a
you know,
mountain off on that one too.
I think that if one important thing to do though is like not hold on to the stigma that quitting is weakness. I think that's like an important key to that. Where it's like it sounds bad, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It's not necessarily a sign, but it straight up can be too.
So okay,
So-
I'm glad you
that's
said
why
it
I
straight
think
up
the
can
word-
be.
in the
the word
context
itself,
of
I think,
backpacking, though, like quitting and like who cares? Like
Well-
I know what you're saying, right? Like quit.
Yeah.
Oh, I decided to quit. I quit my job, or I quit. Like there's a million things you could quit. But like in the context of a fun trip with your buddies, like what is quitting?
Okay.
Right? Like
I am
it just
curious.
depends,
I'm
right?
curious on you guys' take on this because I think it's up there too. Bill Bryson's A Walk in the Woods. Okay, he wrote a whole book about through hiking the AT. Okay, it's like one of the number one books for outdoors, right?
and he didn't finish.
He didn't finish the AT, so and
We've
I
talked
looked this.
about that.
I
I
looked
didn't
this
read
up
it.
too.
Why did he not finish?
There was a handful of reasons. They just quit through. They like
they just quit.
they did, and they didn't even section hike those pieces. Like they didn't ever go.
and there were a
go
lot
to
of
Cata-
sections that they
Hold on.
like
When you say
skipped.
quit,
They did only 40% of the trip.
really?
40%.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's interesting to me. I know that I'm going to get some heat for this. It's okay. Comment below, please. Go
We've
ahead.
talked about this on an episode,
Have
and
we?
I would love to mentally. I don't remember what we said, but I'm curious if my own perspective has changed on this. But go ahead.
Yeah,
So
say it.
to me, he did not through hike the AT because I think at this point that diminishes what actual through hikers and people that are completing the entire thing are accomplishing.
Is that going to get heat? If he didn't do it, he didn't do it.
Well, but I think there's some gray area for people every once in a while.
Like if you
depending
do any
on-
portion of it, that you did it.
you're section hiking, which is totally fine. But I think it's interesting that he got. It became a movie. It's a number one selling
Hang on,
book.
real quick.
Like
So when you say he was section hiking it,
not section. I mean, he ended up section hiking basically.
That's
because
ultimately what he ended
didn't-
up doing.
Yeah, because he didn't do. I think parts of Virginia. He didn't actually complete
Katahdin.
And
Katahdin?
again, I'm going to ask this again. What are the reasons why he didn't finish it through fully?
I think him and his buddy that he was with, they just wanted to stop.
Well, and also there was one section
well,
I
see,
think
that's
they just
not
like
a good enough excuse,
they
in
just
my opinion.
they
I guess I
hitchhiked.
got to read
That's
the
what I'm
book.
saying. And then,
I don't
yeah,
re-
they
I
just
don't
skipped-
remember
They just
at
skipped
this
huge,
point.
huge sections of it too.
Hey, can you hand me that over there?
It is. I
me see
actually
that real quick.
I actually read it and I'm
Physical
totally
exhaustion.
forgetting.
I haven't
Hey,
read it in a
hold
while.
on. Let me read it.
We're gonna start reading.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Hey, hold on. Shh.
Time starts now.
I need quiet.
I'll be honest. This is not related to what you're. This is not about what we were talking about. It's honestly a boring book.
It is,
It's
dude.
so boring.
I'm sorry.
So
I
weirdly
know.
enough, I enjoyed it though.
I finished it because I wanted to.
Same.
And I felt like, man, I was so far in the book, and then I was
Same.
like, dude, I can't just abandon ship here.
Same.
So
I
you
was
talk about
bored.
you talk
Couldn't
about
quit.
quitting.
Couldn't
Yeah,
Couldn't
I
just
had
quit.
the resilience to power through. I had the gumption. I was like, I gotta do this. But man, it's a boring book.
It is, dude.
I didn't mind.
And
That's right.
I'm here. We are talking about it, and I'm
Yeah.
still kind of like, damn, man, maybe I should read it again. It was interesting.
No.
The story is good. I think to me, what I like about the book and what changed, I read it at a good time because I would say, and I want to touch base a little bit, and I started talking about like defining quitting and like the ramifications of it, like quitting something where you can't provide for your family, or you can't like quitting there are values of or like ranges of quitting, right? Quitting a trail because there's like something that happens and you can just go home and whatever, like the ramifications of that are far less greater or far less than multiple ramifications of other things, is I guess what I want to say. But I remember reading this book. I remember reading it, It was probably around the time where we had just gotten started. It was,
I think we
maybe early on in our, it was maybe Loyal Sock, maybe Mana Stay.
I was almost positive that we were trying to read this for like one of the book club idea things that we were going to do.
I think it was pre-pod even.
No, it wasn't.
I never remember the discussion because the only one that I remember talking about was the Deep
Survival,
with
which
Lawrence
we did.
Gonzalez, which we did.
Yeah.
I think I never got this or even thought about reading it.
I think it actually was pre-pod.
I just remember reading it at a time where I think mentally I thought like, man, what the shit? Like, this is rough. And I remember thinking my mindset on the trail was I absolutely have to finish, or like we set out a goal, whatever. Like, and I for whatever reason, maybe it's just because I'm outside more and I do more trips every year, so I don't care. I could give two shits if we pick this and we're going to do this exact thing and we don't, and it changes.
Yeah.
And that to me with the book is like, that's just his journey. That's just his story.
The Washington Post said it's choke on your coffee funny.
It's not.
It's not.
No.
It's
Washington Post is wrong.
I didn't hate it, but it's not. I didn't choke on your coffee.
I didn't like it so much. I'm pretty sure that's my copy because I knew I would never read it again.
That's funny. It's very long.
It's so long.
I did. I
let me
listened
see
to it.
What's the?
I didn't
like
read it.
the,
I listened to it.
I think I did.
I audiobooked it.
I think I audiobooked and I read.
You could probably choose. I mean, the
words are
friggin'
huge, dude.
Yeah.
The font is
18-point font.
Yeah,
dude.
Double
That's
space.
that's the high school essay.
Large
margins.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Some college kid really tracked this out to hit the page count.
Yeah, they're padding stats, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, it's a goose suit for a book.
Hello.
Sorry, I don't mean to rag on it so much, but
listen.
No, I think
it's
it was. I
something-
was listening while I was reading, so I think you're right that like I think it is a part like. Whatever, for whatever reason that he didn't finish it for whatever reason. I think though it is his journey. I mean, we talked to Hair Force about this. Our friend.
That's right. Yeah.
Attempted the PCT, and did he finish it? No, but he's still considered a thru hiker for what he did.
Homie hiked the PCT.
Yeah.
That is what I would say, and that's what I would say about Bill Bryson. And again, who's the rule maker on saying like, oh, you've got to do 1,236 miles
I do want to say
you did the AT. If you've done 100 miles on any sort of thing, to me, you've done it.
You've hiked it, but you didn't through hike it.
That's fair. That's semantic. That to me is like semantics.
You are a thru hiker, but you didn't thru hike the AT.
Oh man,
okay.
This is all right.
I can see the differences between the two.
I totally get it.
I'm not going to make a judgment call because I
you
haven't
have to.
done
That's
it.
what we do.
No, I refuse because I know that Not Yet and Lucky are out there listening, and far be it from me to decide whether or not someone's called a thru hiker. Or not.
But like Sparks through hiked the whole AT from start to finish, right?
finished
I know, but
crushed
if
it.
she stopped 50 miles short, would she not be?
You did not. To me, you did not through hike.
she's still
the
a through
AT.
hiker.
She's still a through hiker.
You are a through hiker, but
that's
you
what I'm
didn't
saying.
through hike the trail.
That's true. Yeah.
I think
that's
we're
what I'm
all kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
But no, see, now I'm going to be the odd man out because then how could you, if you haven't done the thing that the thing is named
I
after,
see
how
what
are
you're
you the
saying.
thing?
You're not an Appalachian Trail through hiker. You're a through hiker though, because that's the action.
But if you
that you're
haven't
doing.
through hiked
I'm
anything,
a hiker. I'm a hiker, I haven't finished
We've
every
been
trail
section
that I've
hiked.
gone on to. You know what I mean?
I've been on the AT for like 15 miles. Am I a through hiker?
No, way
No,
more. Than,
that's a
way,
different-
So then
way
where's
more.
the
You're a
where's the
section
cutoff?
hiker.
Then where's the
We're
cutoff?
section hikers is what I would
I think that
a couple hundred miles or 1,000
Wow,
miles.
now
I would
it's
say.
so too subjective.
So Paul, Google what's the definition of a through hiker?
Oh, I guess there you go. Let's use
Because I
that.
think
let's let the computer define it for us.
Well, I'm just curious.
tell
what,
us, oh,
what
master.
the definition
No, I
is,
agree.
right?
I'm gonna
THRU.
I'm gonna say this. If
Okay,
if we're the definition of one depends on the other. If we're saying a through hiker had to have through hiked an entire trail, or I'm sorry, if a through hike is a full trail, I don't think you could be called a through hiker if you haven't done that thing.
What does
that
it
it's
say,
named
Paul?
after.
End to end.
Yeah,
End
so
to
a
end.
through hiker is a backpacker who hikes a long distance established trail from end to end in a continuous journey or a single calendar year.
There you go.
See, to me, what I would say is I would say Hair Force hiked the PCT.
Exactly.
Bill Bryson hiked the AT.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. but I don't use the term through hiker all that frequently personally.
You could also say attempted the AT or attempted.
Oh, but see, I feel like
any
that's
of it. I'm
more,
just saying-
that
and
has
that's
more of a negative connotation.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, I think it, and it's right. People need to not take it so personally then, because it's like if you haven't
guys,
done, if
don't
you haven't
take it
done
personally.
the thing,
Well, right.
if you haven't done the thing, then you don't get the thing.
I also
Don't get the trophy.
I've never attempted it, so whatever. Like we're sitting here saying it, so I know what I get your point, and I think most people that are probably in that scenario would agree with that sentiment. Like, and they attempted it and they didn't. Like my cousin did it and she didn't finish it, and she always said, "Oh, I attempted it." Right.
Right. I will try to
No
put
shame in
myself in this in plant myself in that situation. If I were to be able to go out and say I knock out 200 miles of the AT, I don't think I would be super upset. I wouldn't consider myself a through hiker for one, and if someone like didn't call me one or said I wouldn't get upset about it.
It's like I didn't actually summit Rainier the last time I did it, right?
But I would also say you've
You've hiked
at some point.
You've
That's person to person. It's like how much self-esteem. Like it comes down to.
How much does that matter?
Like how much does that matter to you personally?
It matters to me because I'm going
Well,
going back, right? But
I'm trying to be sensitive though. It's like some people telling you, like, I imagine if you tell your whole family and everyone in the universe that I'm going to go hike the AT, I imagine there's a lot of guilt and shame and like embarrassment coming back and saying I didn't finish it. For a lot of people, I'm not, and again, I think it's person to person because some people might not give a shit.
I would imagine most of that is just you putting it on yourself, though, not other people.
And that's my
I think
point.
you do.
'Cause
That's
that's my point.
I can't imagine anybody looking at someone who attempted it, just like we look at you with Rainier. I'm not saying like,
dude. I have a dark cloud above me.
Ass.
I know for real.
Loser over here.
I've had a dark cloud above me since I got back from that mountain. Like for real.
Hold on though. You even if you weren't having altitude illness stuff that you think you had,
I still wouldn't have been able
nobody
to
else
summit. No one else summited.
So
Right.
there's nothing you could have done.
It still would have bugged me
Amen.
though. It still would have bugged me though, for sure.
Well,
I
sure,
guess
because
but like,
you had a
But that's
goal.
also like bad timing, I guess. It's just
Yeah.
the bad
Well,
weather.
It's also
you know?
that proves my point, though. It's like that's you putting that on you.
No,
like
it
one
is.
else
For sure it is.
And
Yeah.
it's and that's what we do to ourselves because we
Right.
have
Right.
expectations of ourselves and we don't meet them, and it's like. Then
So
we
to
get in
me,
our own
where it's
heads.
comical is like I think about anybody who does a trip on any of these trails longer than like a weekend trip that we would do. I'm immediately just jealous. Like,
dude,
you
yeah.
did 100
Oh, I
miles on
wanna
the
do
AT?
that.
Yeah.
Man, mega jealous.
I think if somebody like let's say you attempt a through hike and you don't make it all the way through, and if anybody has a they didn't make it through, that's just straight up ignorance. Because
It
like
can't-
if anybody
yeah,
does
for
know,
sure.
they know
Right.
how effing
So
difficult
hard
that is.
And I feel like kind
So
of a
hard.
disrespect to like the game.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you played the game for that much,
Yeah.
and you're gonna shame me for not finishing.
No,
and
I
I
don't.
did 1,000 miles on this thing, dude.
Right.
Screw you, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel
every
it. I
trip that
feel
we
you.
go on, like I'm humbled, and I'm like the people who like go on the AT, the PCT, any long
yeah.
trip. I'm like just flabbergasted on like how they can even do that or get close to
Yeah.
it in any degree. It's like
Well, when
couldn't agree more.
just this 30-mile trip. I'm like,
Look,
like
just
this is a lot.
even before you hop on the trail, right? People are quitting their jobs. People
Right,
are,
right.
are selling their houses
gosh,
or
yeah.
are
Right.
moving out of their places and putting stuff into storage so they can
Just
do
the
this for
decision
months.
to do it
Look,
itself is.
I'm not saying
impressive.
Bill Bryson was a piece of shit.
You just didn't like his book.
I didn't like his book.
Stinks.
But I guess I'm backtracking a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a hard, and I think that's maybe why I had put that into a scenario, because the people that do complete and are able to go
What
from
an
end to end,
accomplishment.
that is such an incredible accomplishment.
Word.
And
You should reserve some
Facts.
recognition
I think
for that.
I think
It's
there
like,
needs
that's
to
elite
be
and
another
earned.
level platform for those people that are able to
Well,
accomplish that kind of thing.
And
right?
consider the elite class that this is in, right? Like, what's the stat? I'm sure there's a number. I forget what it is.
Yeah,
You've
I
probably
don't know.
heard
What is it?
How
Look
many
it up.
people start the AT and how many finish? Like,
Oh, it's like
to say you
20.
finished and completed.
is it 20%?
Maybe,
It might
if
be
that.
less.
I think it might be
You,
less.
you,
like 10%.
you should
Yeah.
and you deserve the admiration
Yeah.
for that. I think about it too, Paul, from that perspective.
Yeah, less than 2. It's about
25%.
20 to 25%.
What about the PCT?
Less than 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I
That's
think about
wild.
Paul when you talk about the respect of like being humbled on the trail, thinking about the length. Think about this. Our trip, bro, it's even less for PCT.
Is it?
Our trip to to Shenandoah. To Shenandoah was feels like an eternity ago. Okay,
I know.
so
It does really.
put that in your brain. Our lucky.
They're still out there.
They're
Yeah.
still
They're
out
still
there.
out there.
And
Yeah.
sometimes when I conceptualize time and I think about, okay, they talked about when they started the trail, there were nights where it was sub-zero.
It was
Yeah.
in February.
Sub-zero. Think
Crazy.
about
Yeah.
what you were doing in February of this
hiking
year.
hard
Yeah.
snow.
And
That's early to start,
And
though.
from then
It is.
to now,
only by like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
they
I
were
think
on
it
the
was a
earlier
couple
end,
weeks.
but not the earliest.
damn,
They just got some
still hiking.
cold.
Yeah.
And I think about that, and I sometimes think to myself, could I do that?
Right.
Could
Like
I for that long? Months?
I live
Yeah.
like in my normal day-to-day life, and it's like I have bad days. It's like how can I have a bad day? Like there's people on the trail sleeping in a tent. Like
For months.
it's like
snowed on.
I can't.
And like those guys were
Yeah,
doing,
anything.
what did they do that day? 28 miles?
Well,
Or
when
whatever?
we left,
I
their
think
their
so.
plan was to do 28
To
on the day that we were all
28.
leaving.
And that's not
Yeah.
like, that wasn't like an anomaly of
Yeah.
their trip where it's like, oh, today, this one day in
No.
the
Yeah.
2,000 miles, we're going to do a big day. That's every single day that they wake up and do that essentially.
Almost, yeah. Like there's definitely days where you do 10
and you got
miles or
0
5
days,
miles
I
or
get
0
it.
days
and
or
they
whatever.
were
yeah,
they
but-
were in a window where it wasn't insanely difficult. You know,
They knew they could rip.
But
But
speaking
think
of,
of
hey,
that
Lucky
time.
and not yet.
Not yet.
If you guys are watching, send a comment. We'd love to check up
Yeah.
on you, see where you're at. Let us know
Please
where
let us know
you're
where
at.
you are.
Yeah, send us a
Drop a
note.
pin.
Yeah,
Drop a
that's
pin.
hopefully it's going well for you.
Yeah, let the whole world know where you are.
So getting back to the conversation at hand, the topic at hand, the one thing that I think, let's talk about failure a little bit, because we talked about like what quitting could be and what it can look like. Failure, the one big difference I think is that failure can come whether you decide to or not, where quitting is kind of like you can decide if that you're quitting early, whether it's smart or you're not. Failure is the the outcome. And the nice thing about failure sometimes, though, is that you can have essentially like data when you're done.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Why the did I fail?
I think
like,
you-
what happened?
You always do.
You
I don't think
know?
it's you can't. I mean, you always get.
There's always a
information
lesson learned
from
from that.
failure.
You learn more from failure than you do success.
Yeah,
You do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
it's,
always something that you can grasp onto to be like, all right, this is what needs to change. Maybe this is
Yeah.
what I did wrong. This is where I can go forward. And
or it
and I think you're right.
reinforces stuff you already knew and both. Like let's take the river crossing, which I know we've talked about on other episodes, but you mentioned it earlier when we were at Linville. Yes.
No, I don't think that was. We've
No,
talked
no,
about
no.
it ad nauseum.
Was
I think
that
it was.
Perry?
I think it was
Or
cranberry.
Cranberry.
No.
No, you're talking about
the
Linville
loop,
Gorge where we
the
couldn't
gorge.
go
We couldn't go
across.
across the gorge.
Oh, I was thinking of the one
Yeah,
where we
no,
were
no.
like,
Where
up
we
to-
did
up-
go
up
across.
to our,
We didn't
our
fail.
teats and
Right.
We
and
didn't
water.
fail or quit. We kept going.
No, so at Linville Gorge, we
Right.
got halfway through to the actual gorge, could not cross. And so
Right.
two ways that could have played
Although
out, right?
We planned and tried.
we
didn't try to go
we
in.
got
We
close.
we measured every angle
Yeah.
of that scenario.
We did
analyzed
everything except
Probably
dip a toe
too
in.
much,
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
We probably just sort of fucking barreled into
We
it.
did
Yeah.
everything except dip a toe in.
We measured that scenario as well as we start our podcast.
Oh my god.
So the brief for anyone who hasn't heard it, we're at Linville Gorge. We know there's a river crossing. We know it's been raining a lot. We know the water level's high. We get all the way to the river.
We know the bridge is out.
We know
also.
the bridge is out, yeah. And we get there and we know it's going to have to be a game time decision of do we try to cross or not. We ended up not, which was the right call. But I want to use that as an example. You can say that that's a failure in the sense we didn't do the loop, right?
We didn't.
But we intentionally quit that section, came back. But again, I don't even want to call it that because we ended up having the trip was so different and dynamic on the way back. Anyway, that's a whole other
God,
thing.
yeah.
But if that's a failure, we learned and we reinforced that was the right thing to do.
It was.
Would you define that as failure, though?
If you're looking from the context of did we complete the original plan? No. So I
Right.
mean, in that sense, it is.
Sure.
But it's not when you look at if we had tried. This is my point. If we had tried and actually failed and hurt ourselves,
I would have died.
or gotten hypothermia,
because I was
Probably.
or
You were volunteering to go.
volunteered to go in first.
Oh, you would have been roped.
You were like, I'm swimming for triathlons. I'm a strong swimmer. I can make it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If I hadn't made it, then even you guys pulling me back, it would have just pushed me underwater more.
right?
His body would have been ragdolling on the rocks. We would be like, quitter.
Yeah.
This guy failed.
Looks like Brian failed. I don't know.
Brian failed. What a quitter.
We're gonna
dude.
turn around.
All right, who's next?
See you
Or
later.
I was going down the falls, which
big
was
gulps.
which was bad, but yeah.
So, but yeah, so
see you later.
So,
Thank you.
that guy's dead.
relative to what likely would have happened, it's not a failure that we decided to turn around. But it's like either way, you get data, right? So if we had tried and actually failed, the data would not data we wanted to get. But it's like, don't f***ing do that.
It would have been
because-
very conclusive.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also the decision
Well-
to fail intentionally and move back was like that. We
But it
reinforced
see, and that, yes, in a sense, did we finish the loop? No, I guess we failed to finish the loop, but it enriched it in a different way.
Yes,
Right,
it did.
right,
Yeah.
its own thing. And
Exactly.
on that note, maybe it's a possibility we complete the loop in September.
Oh, maybe.
We've
talked about it multiple times.
This scenario,
We've talked about it multiple
That'd be
times.
my vote. So, I think this scenario, the
Plus, we might be
ramifications
getting
of
Hair Force to come on this
failure
one.
is also a huge consideration, because the ramifications of going into that river and crossing that river and getting hurt, et cetera, much greater than cutting a section of the trail out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And that's where I walk away from that trip, and that's why it's hard for me to say failure, because man, it still ruled.
Well, right, but
we
I
didn't
I
get-
say that in response to Austin's point of like you get data. It's
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
so
Yeah, oh my gosh,
absolutely,
yeah.
no matter what call you make, you're getting feedback from that you can, if you're doing it right, you learn from, and you can take that into the next thing, right? So
Right.
the river crossing at Cranberry when we were up to our tits, like it's.
It was like half our thighs.
Yeah, it wasn't that high.
I thought it was
It like splashed on my ankle.
I'm
a
pretty
little
sure.
bit.
I'm pretty sure I took my pants off and I was in my boxers. And I had those
same.
hiked up to like whitey tighty
Yeah,
height.
dude.
It wasn't.
It was
To
I was
our
fine.
tits.
It was definitely.
It wasn't to our tits.
God
Jesus.
forbid I had exaggerated on a podcast.
this isn't a fishing podcast.
I was holding my pack up, and only my pack was out of the water. I was
scuba gear.
I almost drowned. Yeah.
So, all I'm saying-
All right.
Sorry.
The sound effects.
the success of that we took into other trips. We
Yeah.
learned from that. The failure, quote unquote, of
Yeah.
not crossing at Linville, we took into other. We learned from everything.
I'll give story time. So,
It's all been story time.
well, I haven't, but I
Light the
haven't.
campfire.
I haven't really divulged with you guys a lot of my details about my Adirondacks trip that I went on. And when we talked about like success and failures, you learn like way more in failure. The weird thing about this last 80K trip that I went on is that it was a rousing success in so many ways. There were really not many failure lessons learned. And I think that it was accumulation of backpacking for as long as I have.
Oh, yeah.
Past-
and hiking
past learnings.
that I honestly felt when I was done insanely confident in my
sure.
abilities as a hiker. I told my wife when I got home, I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm like really good at this. because and it was like a realization afterwards where I was like, oh my God, I planned this from top to bottom. Like the whole thing was all something that I planned and had been planning since September. And it went off without a hitch. Some of it was luck. We got a crazy good weather window.
Yeah, you did.
We were prepared though if it wasn't going to be. So I think that we got really lucky in that sense, but at the same time, I think it went so well just because of everything that I've learned with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And what we've been through and what we've done. It also was a little bit of a different trip,
Yeah.
because we were doing fast packing and day hiking, which had its own challenges in the sense that the plan for the day was way longer than anything we had ever done out on the trail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that speaks to your resilience too, right? Like the things you learned through those tough I agree. I think what we're all saying and what is proving out based on your recent experience is you talk about learning from air quotes failure, because I think that word has so many connotations, but lessons.
Definitely lessons, especially like if I had not been to the Adirondacks the year previous with you guys, dude, it would have.
Dude, and that's such a unique,
different.
right? That's
Yeah.
such a
Yeah,
unique
would've.
place too. Like I can't imagine just showing up. I mean, we did. Our first trip to the Adirondacks was effectively us showing up and going for
And
it.
our
we did
first
well.
trip was so much different.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought, than our second trip even.
Yeah,
So
but
different.
I mean, to do what you did and to just show up and be like, we're gonna go, it would have been entirely different, and it would have been haphazard and all over the place.
Right.
Even if your ability to even plan it, you would not have been able to do that if you hadn't been there already.
Well, and I've had time to, like, now I know how to research trails
Right.
and get the correct information from websites and resources online and who to talk to and who to see and like
Right.
where to find this information. Where's the most accurate weather? And here's all this different kind of stuff and also the gear that I've been able to accumulate and
Right.
know what to
Yeah.
use and what to bring. So I think just like, again, accumulation of all those things and all that knowledge really created this kind of perfect trip that went off really, really well. I mean, it definitely wasn't easy. It was the hardest hiking I've ever done
Yeah, but I mean, you're doing
in
15,
my
16
life.
miles, right?
It didn't matter that 19 on day 2, so
19 day
16
two,
day 1. I think it was 36 altogether throughout the 2 days. Almost 11,000 feet of elevation in 2 days. So essentially, so a few things, because the timing wasn't quite what I expected. We were out on the trail much longer than we thought. But I kind of had like this inkling that it was going to be that way. So we woke up at 4:30 on both days. Whoa. So on Friday.
That sounds miserable.
On Friday, we woke up at 4:30 and it got down to 25 degrees that night. Now, I have fallen deeply in love with lean-tos since then.
Oh, yeah.
Since I have
You hated lean tunes before.
I just like lean-tos are fine. Like they're cool. Like, hey, look at that. I don't have to use my tent, but holy smokes, like I'm in love with them now. I'm gonna write a love song and a love story about
new
lean-tos.
nickname here, Lean 2.
Lean 3. Yeah, it was like 25 degrees and like I did not feel uncomfortable at all
Yeah.
at night.
Yeah.
One thing that I would have probably done differently is like I kind of underestimated how much like car camping in quotes that it was like, because it was a little bit far from the car, but like, dude, I could have brought like a nicer inflatable air mattress. I could have brought like, a comforter and
More
a real
creature
pillow.
comforts,
yeah.
I brought my Nemo and my, my normal sleeping bag and things like that. And I could have gotten a little bit more comfortable, but it was fine either way. But anyways, the first morning we wake up, all right, so it was like 25 degrees at like that night. We wake up, it's f***ing so cold when we wake up. And luckily though, I had everything packed, ready to go. All I had to do was like slip on a couple things, get my boots ready, go. And we go to the car to make some coffee. And it took a good 20 to 25 minutes for our water to boil.
Oh,
because
really?
it was so
'Cause it
cold.
was
And
that
the
cold.
kettle that I had, this beautiful new kettle, thank you, Paul. Christmas got me this
Yes,
sweet,
yes.
it's
Snow Peak.
no, not
No,
Snow Peak.
Fire Maple.
Fire Maple.
Oh, dope.
It was really, really nice, but it was so cold. It took so long, and we're standing there like, we're ready to go. I just want to go. We just need to chug this coffee. We made a French press, chugged it on the trail. Immediately up to Wright, which is really steep. Algonquin, which was just like absolutely gorgeous. Colden is like my favorite looking mountain in that entire place. It's a beautiful, beautiful mountain.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. But again, that was we were out until 5:36 p.m. And the things that are tough, like the hardest part of that first day was coming down off Algonquin and then going up to Colden were extremely steep both ways. Down Algonquin was hellish, dude. It's
I remember
slow
that.
moving.
I remember that vividly.
The big thing that I learned with the lighter pack, the positives or the differences, I guess, than having like everything on your back for the night is, one, you stop way less.
Yeah.
You know,
For
you can
sure.
keep going for a lot longer and you stop way
that
less.
makes sense.
Number 2, you know, you have less aches and pains.
You're more nimble. Yeah.
You know, but honestly, nimble, yes, but
Not
honestly,
fast.
the speed was about the same.
Well,
There's only so fast that you can do when
Yeah,
you're
there.
To be safe
If
and
you're-
not be kicking rocks.
Right.
and
If you're on a
tripping.
different trail, that's probably not the case.
I agree.
If you were even in Linville, I think if you were in Linville, you would probably be flying.
I agree.
Maybe. So I think
I really.
I think when we hit our stride, when even with weight on, your stride's your stride. You go. Like, because it feels,
I don't know.
but again,
weird.
it's that
you're not stopping as much.
you're not
It's the
stopping as
no,
much.
No,
and
that
you're
I
aches and
totally
pains.
agree. But I think your actual speed when you're in stride, I don't think changes much when you have weight on. Because imagine like you walk at the pace you walk. If you're going significantly slower than you normally do, you're going to notice. Like I
I think I
pick
agree,
an easy
Brian.
trail,
Pfeiffer.
Pick an easy trail then. Do you think we could do Mana Stay faster with no packs?
Yeah.
well because they're not stopping, not because we're just like not because we're naturally walking faster. I think your stride is your stride.
No,
With-
dude. I think you.
maybe a slight
think we
difference.
could
100% know that we would be.
Well, but we'd be
Dude,
trying to. That's the thing. If you're just walking, you're not trying to walk fast.
My,
but I think
you're gonna
I
walk
think
the
your
same
pack
speed.
would.
my pace
Influence
on
it.
my
I don't
pace
think
on the
so.
Stairmaster is so much different without a pack on than with a 45-pound pack.
But you're also only walking up.
But some of these were only walking up.
Yeah, right. But I
know.
guess that's an isolated incident of like that's a true good test because it's the exact same scenario
I think-
to the exact same
Right.
scenario.
Right.
I think
I think it all averages out.
kind of see both because I'm a little bit on Pfeiffer's side with this only because I think there's only so fast or slow that you can go, and the biggest thing is just your lack of stopping.
I see what you're
and,
saying with pace, but
you know,
And-
yeah.
and
with
but-
pace, I think it's about
And you'll get
about
fatigued.
the same. Again, on the flat stuff, no. I think you can go a little faster, but I think I agree. There's
Also,
only so
and I
your
think
gait and
I
how
think
you go.
here's probably where the biggest difference is. You're going to get fatigued faster, which means you're not
Yeah.
going to last as long. So if you're saying walk an hour with a pack and without a pack, and don't stop, I don't think it's going to be all that different. Walk 6 hours with a pack and without a pack. It's probably going to be way different. Because you're how many times you stop,
Depends on
and also
elevation.
after you get 3 or 4 hours in, and after you're dealing with whatever elevation there is, it's like you're getting tired. Then you start to walk slower.
I
'cause
actually
you're
want to
tired.
do a whole episode on fast packing, so we can move on a little bit. But yeah, dude, there's definitely some differences, that's for sure. But just to kind of like round it out, you know, without going into like crazy detail with how each day went, by the end of like Saturday, so we're a good like. We hit our sixth peak, which was gray, probably around like 2:00 on Saturday, and we still had a good 7 or 8 miles left to go. Mm-hmm. And that was the point. And I knew this going into it that this was going to be where the the head games start because
the emotional test.
you have there's no more peaks. It's essentially downhill, a little bit of uphill, downhill, and then flat for the
Yeah.
rest of the way. And we actually hit like some like swampy areas and some rocky parts we weren't expecting, and it was way longer than we thought. And
Yeah.
there was definitely that time that we were like, you're really just head down.
Yeah.
Get this over with. This
This sucks.
dude. I had
Mauling.
to. There was a point where
you go to your pain cave. You're
Dude,
like, fuck.
there was definitely that. I also had to at one point like sneak off the trail and like wipe my ass because it was just, dude.
Swampy.
Hell yes.
I was full of gas this entire trip, dude. I was letting them rip, dude. I don't know what it was, man. There was something letting them go, but
Oh,
dude,
boy.
yeah,
Eating
it was,
burritos.
dude. It was insane, but yeah, that was like a tough one. I will say this, like this was an interesting observation, and then we can like kind of wrap up this episode, but I don't know if you guys had this experience around Marcy, but the inexperience from the other hikers was on full display.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, man.
When
We
we
saw
saw
people-
When we
people
came down,
Yeah, when we
Yes.
came down and we saw people going up, we're like,
Crocs and
dude,
jeans on the way up, man.
you're not
Yeah.
prepared for what
Yeah.
you're about to go.
I
up
saw,
right now.
dude. This was. There were a few instances where I was like, "What is going on here?"
Yeah.
Like there was a group of kids, like they were, those folding, like carts.
Yeah.
They like, you can put
Yeah.
stuff in. There were two kids like carrying one. There was nothing in it.
Yeah.
It was like a really rocky area. I was like, how did this come in? Where are you going?
What are you doing
It was at like
with it?
7 in the
What'd you use that
morning. We were
for?
like hiking out.
Yeah.
We're like, what is going on? A kid just had like a sleeping bag in his hands. We're like 4 miles from anything. I'm like, what is happening right now? Something must have happened. One instance that actually made me sad was like, it was definitely like a group of like older teenagers, maybe like juniors, seniors in high school. And we were going up Marcy, and they have like, your alpine line, right? Where they really stress like stay on the rocks.
Yeah.
This is extremely fragile vegetation. It's very rare. We're trying to protect it, all this kind of stuff. They have the signs there. Even on the top of Marcy, they had a caretaker there for the day. I don't know if you guys had that when you were on Marcy.
We did not have anyone on top.
Marcy.
No.
On the way there, though.
Near
Yeah.
Algonquin, though. We did.
Did you?
Algonquin, we
Okay.
did.
There was
yeah.
like a couple passes where it was
Yeah.
like 1 or 2 guys.
Gotcha. But yeah, there was like she was like on top, like kind of like maintaining, like she was talking and seeing what people are doing. Probably the kind of thing where it's like, hey, where are you headed for the day? Are you
Yeah.
going to make it? Like
Yeah.
making sure everybody was safe.
Yeah, yeah.
But she talked to us about like the Alpine and like why it was special and why you need to like take care of it. Anyways, on the way up, there's a part where, me and my buddy are going up, and these like 5 kids are going down, and they're just kind of like scooting out of the way, and we're like, making our way. We're being cordial, and this one kid like panicked and didn't know what to do, and straight up jumped straight into a bush.
Oh, no.
Like just went "Huh!" and like jumped into a bush, and we were like, you didn't have to do that, dude.
No,
Just
no.
be patient. Like
Yeah.
we can figure this out. You don't need to jump in a bush with your Yeezys on.
He failed hard with Leave No Trace.
Dude, it was crazy. I was like, buddy, dude, you shouldn't have done that. But so there was definitely, that's just one example of like a couple of different things with like inexperience that we saw. But anyways, going back to the topic at hand, I think that this trip was a good example of previous failures and lessons that I had learned. Because again, my buddy had never been to the Adirondacks, but I had, I think, enough information,
Yeah.
especially with doing what we do so
Hey, you
often.
planned well, man.
Yeah.
I think it was a rousing success based on the experiences that I had before. So
Yeah, I think you can apply that to any trip we've done since the first one, where we immediately learned things at Dolly that we took to the next and to the next and to the next, and then we went to Dolly.
Just compounds.
Dude, you talk about
accumulation.
you talk about gear failure and stuff
Right,
like
I
that.
mean-
We've manipulated the gear that we've had. I had a gear failure with a sleeping pad that was
Yeah.
too thin and didn't work very well.
So
So we
we're-
changed
yeah.
things. It can be a really small failure. It can be a really big failure. It doesn't matter what it is. You still learn something from it, and you can then adapt for the next trip, or you can adapt while you're on the trip.
Right. At
Like,
the end of the
just-
day, we are the accumulation of all of our previous failures.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and what you've learned from them. So if you don't learn from it, then you're
If you
you're
don't-
not capitalizing on a really
on
good
the,
opportunity.
the true benefits of
Missed
failure.
opportunity.
Right.
If you don't learn from your failures, then you are just a failure.
I actually kind of like that. That's actually kind of cool.
That is the true failure.
I
right?
like that.
Yeah.
You can fail without being a failure, or you can
Fail,
actually be a
fail.
you're a
failure.
loser.
Yeah, you can really fail.
Dweeb. Yeah,
Man.
that's
That's
good. I
not
kind of like
very
that.
nice.
Isn't that the
It's pretty-
definition of
it's-
insanity?
It's pretty blunt.
The definition
but,
of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again,
Expecting
expecting different
outcomes.
outcomes.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. You're an insane loser.
Well, insane failure.
You're an insane failure. An insane failure. That's probably the worst thing you can be called.
yeah,
guess
right.
so.
That
Oh, man.
doesn't need to be bleeped out or
Insane
canceled
failure.
for.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
All right, are we ready to end this and
on that high note,
get some trivia going? On that high trivia time.
let's do it.
Oh yeah, we've got the music.
You
going.
do have
Yeah,
the music.
maybe
You don't have to
before
do
we
it
do that, we can take a
manually.
little pull of
Oh,
those guys.
my,
You know, we
oh,
didn't
my.
do it
We didn't do
pre-episode, so I saw it back there. I was like,
It's just hiding.
All right, we'll let Paul get
peekaboo.
set up while we have a little swig. Fireball.
And then we'll just throw it to him.
what?
Maybe.
Oh, yes.
Bonus question.
Yes, we'll
Does
football
anybody
it to
remember
him.
what we did last?
we got to keep doing this so we can finish
Whoa,
it.
what last question we
yeah,
did?
what
No,
question
because
category?
we didn't have one for the live.
We didn't do it for the live,
So-
but was it the
What a failure.
Was it the cave?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, we did the cave
Okay,
one.
so that
Wow,
was
good
do we
memory.
know what the scores are? That's more important.
No.
no.
I think
No.
it's like you've
I
like
have-
3.
They're
You're
right
winning.
here.
You're winning. I know that.
No, I think he's
losing.
winning by 1. You're officially losing. I think Alex and I are tied.
You insane loser.
Yeah, isn't it funny though? Pfeiffer, like the best part of Pfeiffer losing is he thought he won.
Yeah, that's right.
Time,
You
that
shared
was
that
really
one time.
funny. But that was before we were keeping score.
We'll
I
have
was
the
doing
scores
great before
above
we
or
kept
below us.
score. Now the pressure
It
got
was
to me.
cute. It was fun.
That's funny.
All right, let's do this.
All right, this one we are going to do plants, animals, and water.
Bring it.
Interesting.
All right, starting with the easy. Found in Pinnacles National. Hold on. Have we done this one already?
There's no way.
We should probably take out the ones we as
Burn
we do
'em.
them.
No, because then we'll lose them.
Aren't there other questions on the cards though that we haven't answered?
Dude.
Did we do that one before?
Did you pull the
It's
same
about
one?
the holy
Lottery ticket.
smokes.
You got to stop. On the
Okay,
way
hold
home.
on. See if this rings any bells. Pinnacles National Park is home to nearly 400 species of this insect.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
It was ants, right?
Yeah.
Or ants,
Ants.
bees.
Bees.
Powerball.
Bees,
Yeah,
we
thought it was
Powerball.
ants.
Whoa.
My answer was
Yeah.
ants, and I was
Oh,
wrong.
yeah, I'm getting
What would be the
tingles.
odds?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
a lot.
dude.
Look at this deck. I just straight
What
up.
are the
pulled-
odds?
That's a big deck.
That's a big deck. I teed that one up for him.
Put that
you.
deck away.
You're gonna have to
Get your
censor
hands
that
off
big
that
deck.
deck.
All right. So, same category: plants, animals, and water. Easy question: which of the following is not one of the four main lakes in Voyagers National Park? Oh boy. Cabtigama,
These are all native.
Rainy, Ramekin, and Sandpoint.
This is stupid.
There's three.
Which of
There's
these
four.
not like the other?
Oh, I felt like you only said three. You said three too. Wait, is Rainy and Ramekin two different ones?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
okay. I thought Rainy Ramekin is kind of badass.
How's rainy spelled?
RAINY.
Oh, okay.
My answer's B, rainy.
Was that B?
These are lakes.
That was B.
These are lakes.
Yes.
And which one's not? Correct.
Yes. Not.
Ramekin's so badass. I hope
That's
it's
a-
one of the
yeah,
lakes.
better be.
same,
That's a good
dude.
name.
What a sweet name.
That's
I
a
want to
great
name
name.
my next kid that.
Read all the answers again. So Voyagers Park is in Minnesota, Minnesota.
Yeah.
So,
Minnesota.
Cabtigama, Rainy, Ramekin, Sandpoint.
I'm going to go D, Sandpoint.
I'm thinking
I'm locked in on
Rainy or
B.
Sandpoint.
Rainy.
Rainy.
I'm gonna. Does it rain? It rains a lot up there. Yeah.
That's just
Collects.
lazy.
It collects. It is lazy. I'm gonna say Rainy. I'll go with you, Fife.
All right.
So you guys are Rainy.
I'm a Sandpoint.
Are you gonna play the? Are you playing the odds? You playing the game?
I just
Al has
it's
to
a
pick
cra-
first
it's
next
a
time.
I know,
crapshoot.
yeah.
I'm going
Yeah.
Ramekin. I
This
mean,
is not one of the four.
Not
Yeah,
one of the
correct.
four.
Yeah. Not one of the four.
not one of
You're
the four.
probably right because I thought it was badass. It's
All
not
right.
going to be. It's going to be
Okay.
the answer.
Show me potato salad.
Who said C? Ramekin. You got
that's
it.
a little. that's a dish.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, you're right. It is a dish.
What a win.
I mean, it just sounds to me. I'm thinking of like native lands. Like the first one for sure was one.
That's
what
why I
thought.
picked. That's why I picked rainy. I'm like, it's
Yeah,
not.
same.
I wanted to say Sandpoint though because it was like this too common.
Right.
And that's why I asked how it was spelled, because if it was spelled
Yeah.
some crazy, like, you
Yeah.
know,
Right.
it's actually some native word, but just
Yeah.
pronounced rainy.
Yeah.
Well,
That's,
or
that's
Paul
good,
saying it
good
wrong.
deduction.
Yeah, right. Rainy
very
is like
possible.
what a toddler would name it.
Yeah, it's a terrible
come
name
on,
for a
real
lake.
quick. What is
Rainy
it?
Lake.
Rainy.
For the sake of the discussion, Google how many lakes are in Voyager National Park, though, because there's a trillion.
What did my kid name her?
A
Pink
trillion.
Pinky.
I mean, almost every campground there, you have to take a boat.
What
to
did my
get
son
to.
name his
That's
turtle?
crazy.
Mr. Turtle.
Mr. Turtle.
Actually, it's Teddy Turtle.
Teddy
So-
Turtle. Oh, that's nice.
30
right.
named lakes.
Okay, that's less than
30.
I would have anticipated.
30.
A trillion.
Well, when we tried to
named
camp there, it was very challenging.
Because there was a trillion lakes.
I thought it was
All
more
right.
than-
Well, add a
more than
point for
30.
Alex. There was no
All right, so
Ramekin
Alex
Lake.
got a point.
Yeah.
That makes editing easier for me. Thank you. You just have to change one
You get,
number.
but you gotta do a little. I went Bing, so you gotta go.
It's
Bing.
below.
Yeah, I
us,
want
I
to.
thought.
I
I'm
want
not
you
doing
to.
that.
I want
I
you
thought it was
to. I want to
below.
smash a Mario brick thing.
I'm not
Coin.
doing that either.
Here, I'm gonna throw up the number.
We don't have an animator.
All right, Paul.
That's what AI is for.
Next one.
All right, the hard one. True or false? The water in Voyageurs National Park flows east and eventually drains into the Atlantic Ocean.
You better close this Google thing, or
Meep.
there you go.
Failure.
If
Failure. Sorry. Say that again.
Gosh, I mean,
Sure. True or false? The water in Voyageurs National Park flows east and eventually drains into the Atlantic Ocean.
is this going to be like a trick thing because it flows into like the Great Lakes and the Great Lakes somehow are connected and then
Well,
to
yeah, it's
the
not a direct
Atlantic?
line.
Like
It's got to hit a river. I'm gonna go false.
I'm not going to ask the question I want to ask to get to the answer
why?
because someone will know it and then they'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know.
I'm saying true.
I think I know what you're gonna.
But I don't know.
I'm still saying false. I'm
Saying true.
I'm going to go true.
Alex.
Alex always picks last. You suck, dude.
I mean, it's a 50-50 shot.
I know, but you
I'm going
always
false.
you know the field before you pick.
So 2 false boys and 2 true boys.
And we need to
I
get
think
little
it doesn't
marker
flow.
boards with our answers.
We should.
Yeah,
It's the
we should
best.
have it in the back
Is
there.
the Gulf
Yeah.
of Mexico included in the Atlantic Ocean? I don't
Gulf
think
of
it
what?
is.
The Gulf of
America. Stop.
Gulf of Cuba.
Okay, so 2 false, 2 true.
I think
Yeah.
so.
2 winners, 2 losers.
My false boys, you got it.
Oh, come on.
There we go.
Bro, we suck.
So false.
Why
the
am I
park's
hopping on
waterways,
Don't follow me.
The park's waterways flow west and eventually north as part of the Hudson Bay
Damn,
watershed.
Hudson Bay. All right.
Wouldn't have known
Nice.
that.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
You know what's
right.
great
Couldn't
though?
have been more
interesting.
Pfeiffer has not gotten a point
A
tonight.
single point. No.
I didn't get a
Not
point
just
tonight.
I haven't gotten a single point since we started keeping
No,
score.
I think
Wow.
No,
I
you
think
got at
you do
least
have a
one.
point.
I
I think
don't-
you at least have 1 point.
Wow,
if you don't,
We'll check the tape.
Whatever. That
Check
means
it.
he's insane failure.
He's an insane failure.
old goose over there.
I'm obviously not learning from my
laying
my
eggs.
failures.
All right.
Well, guys,
yeah,
to wrap
shut
this up,
down.
we appreciate you guys watching and listening every week. If you have any questions, please feel free. Shoot us a comment below or shoot us an email. Email is trail3pod@gmail.com. Don't forget we have a Patreon. If you aren't a member and want to be, that would be really, really helpful to us. We would love you forever.
Yes.
We already love you forever.
The link is down below. And yeah, we love you, and we'll see you next time. The Trail Theory Podcast is sponsored by Audimute and Audio Technica. Music by Dan Koch.